15 interesting facts about Oman. Oman is a country on the southeastern coast of the Arabian Peninsula, known for its stunning desert landscapes, rugged mountains, and long coastline along the Arabian Sea and Gulf of Oman. Its capital, Muscat, blends modern architecture with historic forts and traditional souk. Oman has a rich cultural heritage, shaped by centuries of maritime trade and influence from Arabia, East Africa, and Persia. Unlike many of its neighbors, Oman is famous for its more understated approach to wealth, focusing on cultural preservation and environmental conservation. The country is also recognized for its hospitality, unique frankincense history, and stable governance, under a long-standing tradition of sultanate rule. Number 1. A maritime powerhouse. At its height in the 19th century, the Omani Empire emerged as one of the most influential maritime powers in the Indian Ocean. Its well-developed navy and strategic control of key ports allowed it to dominate trade routes linking Arabia, East Africa, and the Indian subcontinent. Omani merchants traded in spices, ivory, slaves, and dates, building a thriving economy that connected distant regions. The empire's reach was so extensive that Sultan Said bin Sultan shifted the imperial capital from Muscat to Zanzibar, recognizing the island's importance as a commercial hub and cultural crossroads. From there, Oman oversaw a network of territories and alliances, projecting power far beyond the Arabian Peninsula, while blending Arab, African, and Asian influences into its political and cultural fabric. Number 2. Home of frankincense. The Dhofar region of Oman, located in the country's lush southern coast, is world-renowned as the home of the frankincense tree, Boswellia sacra. This hardy tree thrives in the arid, rocky hills of Dhofar, where the unique climate and soil conditions allow it to produce some of the highest quality frankincense resin on earth. For thousands of years, frankincense, an aromatic resin obtained by carefully tapping the tree's bark, was one of the most sought-after substances in the ancient world. It was prized not only for its sweet, lingering fragrance, but also for its use in religious ceremonies, traditional medicine, and luxury goods. From Dhofar, caravans once carried frankincense across Arabia to Mesopotamia, Egypt, Rome, and beyond, making Oman a central hub in one of history's most lucrative trade networks. Even today, the frankincense trade remains a source of cultural pride, with harvest traditions in Dhofar passed down through generations, linking the modern region to its ancient, storied past. Number 3. One of the oldest Arab states. Oman is considered one of the oldest independent states in the Arab world, with a continuous ruling dynasty, the Al Said family, since 1744, strategically located on the southeastern coast of the Arabian Peninsula. Oman has a long history as a maritime power, controlling trade routes that connected the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. Unlike many of its neighbors, Oman was never fully colonized, although it maintained treaties and strategic alliances with European powers such as Britain. Its stability and continuity of leadership have allowed it to preserve a unique cultural heritage, blending Arab, African, and Asian influences. Today, Oman is known for its diplomatic neutrality, moderate foreign policy, and careful modernization that respects its deep historical roots. Number 4. A country of forts and castles. Oman is often called a country of forts and castles, a legacy of its long history of invasions, tribal rivalries, and the need to protect trade routes and settlements. Scattered across the landscape are hundreds of these remarkable structures, from coastal watchtowers to inland strongholds, each with its own story. Many have been carefully restored, allowing visitors to step back in time and experience the architecture, defensive ingenuity, and cultural heritage of the nation. One of the most famous is Nizwa Fort, distinguished by its massive cylindrical tower that once served as both a military bastion and a symbol of authority. Today, it stands as a proud reminder of Oman's resilience and history. Number 5. The Grand Canyon of Arabia. Wadi Ghul, often referred to as the Grand Canyon of Arabia, is one of Oman's most breathtaking natural wonders, carved deep into the rugged Al-Hayar Mountains. This immense canyon plunges for hundreds of meters, revealing dramatic cliffs, layered rock formations, and sweeping vistas that seem to stretch forever. Its sheer scale and stark beauty make it a must-see for nature lovers and photographers alike. Adventurers can tackle challenging hiking trails that wind along the canyon rim or descend into its depths, passing abandoned mountain villages and terraced fields that hint at a long-forgotten way of life. Whether you come for the panoramic views or the sense of awe it inspires, Wadi Ghul is a place that captures the wild heart of Oman. Number 6. A unique branch of Islam. Oman is unique in the Islamic world because the majority of its people follow Ibadi Islam, a distinct branch separate from both Sunni and Shia traditions. Originating in the early centuries of Islam, Ibadism emphasizes community consensus, justice, and a balanced approach to leadership. This belief system has shaped Oman's political culture, fostering moderation, religious tolerance, and a focus on dialogue over conflict. As a result, the country is often viewed as a mediator in regional disputes and a place where diverse faiths and cultures coexist peacefully. Number 7. No skyscrapers in the capital. Unlike the towering skylines of Dubai or Doha, Muscat's horizon remains low and graceful. The city's strict building codes keep new constructions just a few stories tall, a conscious decision to preserve the capital's traditional soul. Instead of steel and glass skyscrapers, you see elegant whitewashed buildings stretching toward the sea, their soft curves and arches echoing centuries-old Omani design. Almost every structure is painted in shades of white or cream, catching the sunlight by day and glowing softly at dusk. With rugged mountains as a dramatic backdrop and the deep blue Gulf of Oman in front, Muscat feels more like a timeless coastal town than a modern metropolis. Proof that progress doesn't have to mean losing your heritage. Number 8. The Khanjar Dagger. In Oman, the Khanjar is far more than a curved dagger. It is a symbol woven into the very fabric of the nation's identity. With its graceful curve and finely worked silver hilt, it speaks of manhood, pride, and deep-rooted heritage. Worn by men during weddings, national celebrations, and important ceremonies, the Khanjar rests proudly at the front of an embroidered belt, catching the light with every movement. Many are passed down from father to son, carrying not just metal and leather, but generations of stories and honor. Each piece is a work of art, often handmade by skilled Omani craftsmen, whose techniques have been perfected over centuries. The Khanjar's importance is so profound that it is etched into the national emblem and flag, a constant reminder of the country's strength, dignity, and unbroken traditions. In Oman, to wear the Khanjar is to carry history at your side. Number 9. A birdwatcher's paradise. Oman is a treasure for bird lovers, a place where 3 continents meet: Europe, Africa, and Asia, creating one of the most important crossroads for migratory birds. Every year, countless species pass through its skies, resting along the coastlines, wetlands, and mountain valleys before continuing their journeys. Here you might spot elegant flamingos wading in shallow lagoons, osprey gliding over turquoise waters, or tiny warblers flitting between acacia trees. The country is also home to many resident species, from the striking Arabian partridge to the elusive owl hidden in rocky cliffs. This rich diversity makes Oman a year-round haven for birdwatchers. Whether you're an expert with a long-lens camera or simply someone who enjoys the quiet thrill of spotting rare feathers against the desert sky, for those who come here, every flutter and call feels like a reminder that Oman is not just a stopover, it's a sanctuary. Number 10. Shortest war in the history. In the late summer of 1896, the world witnessed a war so brief it could be timed with an hourglass, and still have some to spare. The Anglo-Zanzibar War, lasting no more than 40 minutes, erupted when a dispute over the Sultan's succession brought the British Empire and the Sultanate of Zanzibar into sudden conflict. Naval guns thundered from the harbour, Smoke curled over the palace, and the battle was decided almost as quickly as it began. Oman's connection to this extraordinary moment came through its deep historical ties to Zanzibar, a former outpost of the Omanese Sultanate. Though the fighting was over in less than the time it takes to finish a leisurely breakfast, it left behind a place in the Guinness World Records, and a curious reminder of how quickly history can turn from peace to war, and back again. Number 11. Ancient irrigation system. In the heart of Oman waits one of the oldest and most ingenious irrigation systems in the world, known as the Afly. For thousands of years, these networks of underground and surface channels have carried life-giving water from hidden springs and aquifers to villages, farms, and date palm groves across the desert landscape. More than just an engineering achievement, the Afly reflects a deep understanding of sustainability and community. Water was carefully shared, with rules and traditions ensuring every family received its fair share. Remarkably, many of these channels are still in use today, continuing to nourish the land just as they did for ancient generations. In recognition of their cultural and historical importance, UNESCO has listed 5 Afly systems as World Heritage Sites, living monuments to human ingenuity, cooperation, and survival in one of the world's driest regions. Number 12. The Turtles of Ras Al Jins. On Oman's eastern coastline lies Ras Al Jins, one of the most important nesting sites for sea turtles in the region. Each year, green turtles make their long journey back to this beach, sometimes traveling thousands of kilometers across the ocean. At night, under the quiet cover of darkness, the females drag their heavy bodies out of the waves and slowly across the sand to find a safe place to nest. With patient effort, they dig deep holes, carefully deposit dozens of eggs, then cover them before retreating to the sea. Weeks later, the cycle continues as tiny hatchlings break through the sand, their small flippers carrying them in a determined dash towards the surf. This remarkable scene, repeated generation after generation, captures both the vulnerability and resilience of a species that has survived for millions of years, and highlights the vital role Oman plays in their conservation. Number 13. A different kind of bullfighting. In Oman, bullfighting takes on a very different form from the blooded arenas of Spain. Here it is called bull butting, and it is a contest of strength rather than violence. On the day of an event, crowds gather in open fields or sandy enclosures, the air buzzing with anticipation. 2 bulls are led into the ring, their horns glinting in the sun, muscles taut as they face one another. At a signal, they lower their heads and surge forward, horns locked in a grinding push of power. Dust rises around their hooves as each animal strains, the crowd shouting encouragement, waiting to see which one will hold his ground. The match ends not with injury, but when one bull simply loses the will to fight and backs away. For the owners, it is a matter of pride. For the spectators, a celebration of tradition. Bull butting is part of Oman's heritage, a dramatic but non-violent spectacle that emphasizes stamina, spirit, and respect for the animals. Number 14. The Rubble Collie. The Rubble Collie, or empty quarter, is the largest continuous sand desert on Earth, and a portion of it spills into Oman's southern reaches. Here, the landscape is stripped to its essence, endless dunes rising and falling like waves on a golden ocean. Some climb hundreds of feet high, shifting shape with the wind, their ridges glowing red at sunrise and fading into silver under moonlight. Crossing this terrain is no small feat. The heat is intense, the distance is deceptive, and silence presses in so deeply it feels almost alive. Yet for adventurers and desert travelers, that very emptiness is the allure. The shifting sands challenge both entrance and navigation, while the sheer scale of the desert inspires awe, a reminder of nature's vastness and our small place within it. The empty quarter is more than a wilderness of sand. It is one of the last great frontiers of raw, untamed landscape on the planet. Number 15. A modern nation with ancient heart. Oman is often described as a modern nation with an ancient heart. Until 1970, it was one of the most isolated and underdeveloped countries in the region, with limited infrastructure and little contact with the outside world, that changed dramatically under the leadership of Sultan Qaboos bin Said Al Said, whose reign ushered in an era of rapid modernization. Roads, schools, hospitals, and cities rose across the country, linking once remote communities and opening Oman to the wider world. Yet what sets Oman apart is, this transformation did not sweep away its heritage. Traditional architecture, music, crafts, and social customs were carefully preserved, woven into the fabric of modern life. Today, visitors find a country where gleaming highways lead to ancient forts, where modern skylines stand beside bustling souks, and where development and tradition coexist in a rare balance. Oman's story is one of progress shaped by deep respect for its past. Thanks